Some diesel heater testing. Some things I've learned. I've been running about 15 minutes on high. Oh, I didn't put on one. Heat 6. Maxed out for this unit, this control, this LCD and board. This is maxed out fan speed and temperature. This is the internal temperature of my burn chamber. It stays around 150, 152. It is 59 Fahrenheit outside. And what I've done was modify the recirculating air intake. This is a $5 stainless steel sink strainer. Now what I did is cut out the grate, and I marked out the size I needed and cut it out, and it fit perfect in there. And it's easy to clean. Like I have a lot of pet hair, because after running for 10 hours, I had this through my window with a hose going through a foam board with recirculate air and a hose exiting, and I was sucking up my pet hair through the unit. I pulled the cover off. I did have some pet hair I moved off the heat exchange. Might not be a big deal to some, but this gives me something to clean. It'll clean easy, and it provides less restriction than the plastic grate. Now what less restriction does, my burn chamber is normally at 170 to 175 Celsius on the internal burn chamber. What that does, the higher the burn chamber temperature, the hotter the air. Less restriction means your fan blows harder now, but it's not blowing as hot. It's still blowing hot. I believe it's still in the 340 range. Oh yeah, and I had 340 a few minutes ago. That looks like we peaked, there we go, 345, 350, 360, so it's still blowing very hot air. My temp gun takes a minute before it starts reading accurately. Still blowing hot air, but it's blowing a lot harder. Now, if I was to restrict it more, you can watch my Celsius, my burn chamber temp. I'm going to restrict on the rear of my hand. You can watch this temperature rise, which means the fan's not going to blow as hard, but it's going to blow hotter air. Got a little slight delay. They make a liar out of me. See it rising with adding restriction. My hand over the screen is similar to what the factory grate was doing. Remember, the higher the burn temperature, the hotter the air coming out. And if you pull this off completely, I have to put weight in here because it blows the cover off. It overcools. It cools itself fast. Hear the sound difference? Now that's going to start cooling itself down pretty quick as it goes back to below 150 with this off. But while this is doing this process, show you how good it fits. It's kind of soft, but it's easy to clean. It's cheap to replace. I'm going to buy another one and put this on the inside of my house on my air intake. So I'm going to install it back in the window. We got freezing temperatures coming in the next 2 or 3 days, so I would like to have this back together. You see the temperatures dropping back down, slowly coming down. With this off, it allows more air to flow, and being this is a heat exchanger, more air that flows through it, the more cooling it does. Because the heat exchanger this air draws over the burn chamber, and that's where your heat comes from. The diesel is burning in a separate chamber, making its own heat, and that's what we're drawing the heat from. The guy on Facebook, he was happy that you pull that rear cover off or just cut the grate out, and it blows a lot harder. It does blow harder, but the air is not going to be as hot because it's actually trying to cool down, overcooling the chamber. It's still blowing hot air, but if you want the hottest air you can get, you need a little bit restriction on the rear side. So back down to 154. But anyway, while I had a few minutes, I wanted to take the time talk about my easy mod. It's just a $4 to $6 3-inch stainless steel sink strainer. Cut my grate out with a pair of side cutters, and I use a pair of 10 snips to cut out. Once I use my rear cap as a mark, and I just cut on the line, and it fit in there good. So if you're worried about dirt and debris clogging up, there's a simple solution without buying a special adapter. I want to say I paid $5 for the sink strainer, and this took me 2 minutes to accomplish. Thank y'all for viewing.